All right, so this is using the tables. Everything that's in this packet, what you need to do is going to start in y equals, right, which is this button here. You'll press it. It's going to bring you into this screen. You'll enter whatever function you have. In this case, it was 2x minus 2. Once the function is there, you go to the table by pressing second, graph. Second is this little blue button. Graph is right over here. Those two together take you over to here. So how we would use that for something like this, right, we enter 2x minus 2 into y equals 2x minus 2. You're going to have to press second graph, remember, to get to your table. And once we're in the table, you have x, y. The value you care about looking at is right here. So I'm going to look at 3, and I want to know what's right next to it. In this case, when you do it, I know that next to 2x minus 2, there's going to be a 4. So your answer is that 4. Same thing over here, even if it gives you f of x, g of x, or h of x. F of x is just another way of saying y equals. Right. Type in 9x plus 1. Still going into your table. And I'm going to want to know what's next to negative 3 this time. F of negative 3 means I want the value of the function at negative 3. In this case, there is a negative 26. That is my answer. You're going to use the same exact idea for a bunch of different types of problems. One of the types of problems is called figuring out if a point is a solution. Okay, so for each of these, you're going to be given a function, right, like f of x equals 4x minus 3. And I want to find out, is the point 1, 1 a solution to that function? Yes or no? Easy enough way to do this is to look at the table, which is why I provided you a table here. Right, so as usual, it's going to start in y equals. You're typing in 4x minus 3 and pressing second graph. So again, your clue is right here. Another way to answer this is to figure out is that point found as a pair in the table. So do we see 1, 1 as a solution? Well, 1, 1 is in my table. So yes. Differently, let's look at f of x equals x squared plus 3. Type that into y equals. And check check out its graph. As a gentle reminder, to get x squared, you need to press the button with x, and then the x squared button. Okay. So that table looks like -1, 2 a solution, do I see -1 and 2 as a pair in that table? Well, I see -1, 4, so -1, 2 is not a solution. You'll do that again for each of these on this next page. These are an example of the multiple choice questions that would possibly be asked on an exam that use that same situation. This says, which ordered pair would be a solution to y equals x squared? The difference between this and what you already know how to do is you have 4 options instead of just 1. So essentially you're saying yes and no to each of these 4 here. Okay. Same start. Y equals. Type in x squared and go to your table. Make it big enough for this pen not to look confusing. This has me looking at x values of -1, 0, 0 again, and 1. I see -1 is 1, 0, and 1. Okay, so is -1, -1 a pair on the table? I see -1, +1, so it's not that guy. What about 0, 0? I see 0, 0 here, so that is my answer. Okay. Can't be 0, 1 because it was already 0, 0, and it's not 1, 0 because it's 1, 1 in the table. Okay. Then there are the types of questions that say which one would not be a solution. Okay, so this time there's going to be 3 things that I do see in my table and 1 that I don't. Type this bad boy into y equals. Go to your table again. And this time it looks like I am looking at 0, 1, 3, and 1. I'll leave you a little bit of time to type that in yourself. Let's say 10 seconds on here. You are welcome to pause the video just to make sure that you get it typed in yourself first. Alright, so I know there is a -6 next 0, negative 4, Now I see 0, negative 6. Be careful not to say, oh, that's my answer because I see it right here. Nope. We want the one that is not a solution. So if I see 0, 6, that can't be my answer. What about 1, negative 4? 3, 0. 1, positive 4. No, because 1, negative 4 is in there. Okay. This is the last major type of problem that is on the test. And it's a way of checking if expressions are equivalent to each other. Equivalent meaning equal. Right? So are these two expressions that they give you equal to each other? There's certainly ways to do it by hand, but there's also a pretty convenient way to do it using the table functionality of the calculator, which makes it much simpler for very complicated expressions that you're comparing. In this case, our first expression is 4x plus 12. Second one is 4 times the quantity of x plus 3. The first expression goes into y1. Right, that is your top y. So go ahead and make sure it ends up saying 4x plus 12 in there. Your second expression goes into y2, which is this next guy over here. Okay, so put 4x plus 3. And now we're asking ourselves if in the table are both columns identical. Okay, does everything in y1 match up with everything in y2? In this case, they match, which means yes, they are equivalent. Equivalent expressions are expressions that have the same value everywhere, no matter what you plug in for x. And then you just do that a couple more times, right? Remember, first thing is going to go on y1, the second one in y2. Get to your table and check that those guys match. Are they the same? In a situation like this, for this mixed review, which says, question 1, which expression is equivalent to x squared minus x minus 6? We have 3 options here. Now on the previous page, you knew to type, something into y1, something into y2. I check if they're the same. Question being, what goes into y1 and what goes into y2? y1 is going to be what is in the question. Okay, x squared minus x minus 6. Both of those are subtraction, not negatives. And then we're just going to have to test them out separately. Let's put a into y2. And you're just checking these two. Okay? Do those two match? the same. So give me a second to type that in. I'll give it another 15 seconds. Again, if you feel like it's moving a little too fast and you need more time to type, please press pause, and then when you're ready, go ahead and press forward. So in this case, those two columns should not have matched, so that is not our answer. Keep the expression from the question in Y1. And now you're checking out B as your Y2. And saying if they are the same. Again, I would pause here if you want more time to check yourself. I see those again are not the same, so obviously it should be C, but you should always check just in case maybe you typed something in wrong. Put that into Y2. Are they the same? And this time, yes. So our answer is C. You've done a question like number 2. Just did one like number 3. I will say that I noticed there are T's instead of X's. Just use X. Ooh. Just use X. Right, so like on that first part, you will type 2x minus 7 to the x plus 1. And if you forget to get to an exponent, you press that little caret button. Number 5, pay attention to the fact that it says not a solution.